I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly, and they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste, what's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see today, we are on the Young Turks, and Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump are in California, and they're having a little powwow with the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, and some other authorities in connection with, of course, the wildfires that have been ravaging Los Angeles. And now the issue, now that I believe the fires are all extinguished, but the issue now is rebuilding. And apparently, I don't watch the news that much, people, but I just rely on people to send me videos, and they keep pouring in. And apparently, of course, because it's California, you can't just go back to your house and start tidying up and throwing out the rubbish and trying to salvage what you can salvage. No. You have to wait for all sorts of regulatory measures or to be, regulatory conditions to be met so that you can start the process of just cleaning up. And of course, that's just California. It's the nanny state par excellence in the United States. So let's get into it. They start off the clip, the Young Turks do, with a little clip from Mel Gibson mentioning the arrival of Donald Trump. Let's get into it right now.
You read about hydrants that don't have water. You read about cutting firefighters' budgets. You read about reservoirs that are empty. I mean, it's got to be frustrating.
I'm glad Trump's here at the moment. It's like Daddy arrived and he's taking his belt off, So I think he'll get some results here quickly.
Daddy's home, according to actor Mel Gibson, in regard to Donald Trump's visit to Los Angeles following the devastating wildfires that ripped through the city. Now, while Gibson's choice of language is kind of creepy, got to keep it.
Creepy? What's creepy about Daddy's home or Daddy arrived? I think that says, Anna's comment there says more about her state of mind than it does about Mel Gibson's state of mind. Daddy's home, or Dad's back, or Dad's home, or wait till your father gets home. And he's taking his belt off. That's what he said. We all know that. At least people of my generation knew that. When I was growing up, that absolutely was a threat. And I was lucky, my dad only took his belt off once when I was a kid, and boy, did I deserve it. I deserved it more times than that, but I certainly deserved it that one time. He was a very, very patient, very patient man. And yeah, wait till your father gets home. That's what Mel Gibson was saying, and that's what California is getting with the arrival of Donald Trump.
Real, it is definitely true that Donald Trump held Mayor Karen Bass's feet to the fire during a joint press conference. And I really, really do want to get into the details of this because it gives you a sense of how frustrating it is to live in Los Angeles and deal with the politicians that we have, because they tend to try to get dodgy, hide the truth, and sometimes they just lie to your face. Without further ado, let's take a look.
You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape. We could get people back building as fast as possible. And we're going to continue doing that.
Mayor, the one thing is they are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope you're right.
You can hold me to it.
4 groups said that.
No.
That would be they should be able to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
That will not be the case.
But Bass ended up getting caught in a lie, a pretty massive lie, and Trump wasn't about to let her get away with it. Take a look.
First we have to take care to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up so that people can start right away. We absolutely need your help. We need the federal help.
You got it. I told you. You will have no permit problem. There will be 0 delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits. And I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly. And they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste, what's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Oh, Donald Trump. Jesus. This is only, as I record this is just we're in the second week of his term, his second term as president, and he has been on fire since January 20th. Like literally every day something is coming out. The liberals all over the internet are melting down. I go on Reddit, so you don't have to, but believe me, they are melting down. And I haven't seen what Reddit is saying about this particular press conference, but I will look into it and get back to you. Yeah, this is incredible. He is holding her feet to the fire. And she lied. She said, yeah, they can do it immediately. Well, first we got to do the hazardous waste thing. Well, what does that mean? And Trump was right to call her out. Yeah, what exactly is hazardous waste? What exactly is that? Because I have a feeling in California, you probably have to get some inspector to come out to determine if there's hazardous waste and then determine what kind of hazardous waste. And then you got to get some sort of licensed contractor specialized in the removal of that hazardous waste. And that's probably why people are talking about it taking 18 months to start cleaning up.
Except they won't, and they didn't, okay? So just to give you some background, this was a press conference specifically about the people who lost their homes in the Pacific Palisades. They want to rebuild. They don't want to leave. They don't want to move out of the state. They want to rebuild their homes. But they have been denied access to their properties since the fire happened. And so the argument that we're hearing from Karen Bass is, no, I have, done what I need to do to expedite this situation so people can get to their property as soon as possible. It's just that we have to clear out the hazardous waste. She said there, you just heard her, that they can get to their properties immediately. Later in the press conference, she's like, in about a week,
Not later, yeah, like a few seconds later. It was crazy.
About a week, because we have to remove the hazardous waste. But what's really interesting is Donald Trump kept harping on how the residents of the Pacific Palisades kept getting told that it's gonna take 18 months to go through the usual process in order to be able to begin constructing their homes. Karen Bass says that's not true, that's not true, that's not true throughout the entirety of the press conference. So what is true? Well, why don't we hear from the Public Works Director of Los Angeles? His name is Mark Pestarella, and what he had to say during a town hall meeting about the length of time it'll take for the residents of the Pacific Palisades to begin construction on their homes. Watch.
We know that the first phase will take some time. Phase 1 will take up to 3 months, maybe even longer, 6 months to get the toxics off. At the same time that is occurring, we'll be coming behind you with the process of debris removal. The debris removal can take up to 18 months, Supervisor.
Okay, so Karen Bass says removing the hazardous waste will only take a week, right? It'll take a week. Right there, you hear him say it'll take 6 months to remove hazardous waste. Like, I know that I complain about LA a lot, and it's not because I hate LA. I was born and raised in LA. I love LA. It's the leadership in LA that's frustrating, and they do lie to people. So there was something cathartic about watching Trump hold her feet to the fire and call out the lies.
Ooh, what are the commentators under this Young Turks video going to say about that? Something cathartic about Donald Trump holding the mayor of Los Angeles' feet to the fire and calling out her lies. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's amazing. Who even thought that was possible? It's fantastic. We never see this in emergencies. I've seen lots of emergencies in my lifetime in the US. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Yeah, that a little bit later in the clip that we showed you guys, when he said, so they can go in right now, because you keep saying they can go in tonight. And she said, well, no, in about a week. So is it now or is it in a week? Like, come on, you're in a national press conference with the president. Have your story straight. And if she said, look, they can go to their homes and do X, Y, or Z in a week because we need to make sure that it's safe, that's a defensible position. And I know a lot of people are frustrated and want to go see their homes right away. And I don't know what the hazardous waste is.
Lithium batteries from the electric vehicles.
No, I got you, but like, yeah. I don't, so then how dangerous is that? And if that's really dangerous, why are we allowing lithium batteries in electric vehicles?
Jesus, based AF. Cenk Uygur dropping an ultimate red pill. Yeah, if the hazardous waste they're talking about is the lithium batteries inside electric vehicles, which, when they ignite, burn at an extremely high temperature. And if you want to see things, if you want to see them burning, go on the internet. You can find videos of electric cars just burning up. Yeah, if they are so hazardous and so dangerous, why is there such a huge push for electric vehicles in the first place? And especially in California, of course. California is the green leader par excellence. And the European Union, where I live, wants to be. So yeah, that's like a massive red pill that Cenk Uygur just dropped, and that dissidents have been saying for years now. There are all kinds of problems with electric vehicles, and those problems are to do with the batteries. Not just the batteries exploding or burning, but also the way the batteries are made and the environmental ravages required to get the what are they, rare earth minerals, the minerals, components used to make those batteries.
I don't know. So there's a lot of interesting questions there, but give us straight answers, because then it's super embarrassing when Trump of all people catch you in a lie in a press conference. So like, you got to have your story straight. You got to be able to defend it. And guys, this is what I'm talking about with Karen Bass. So we've got a poll right now in the chat about, is she going to run again and is she going to fail or not? Go check that out. But like, she shows no leadership. She comes back from Ghana. Look, I know people hated that she was in Ghana. There's a question about whether she knew about the big wins that are coming up, et cetera.
There is no question, she knew.
Okay, so, but even if you say, okay, she went to Ghana, but she took a trip, it's bad luck, she comes back. Then reporters ask her questions and she's not prepared. And she doesn't have any answers and it looks terrible. And did they not have any water in their reservoir? Yes, they had no water in the reservoir. You could say, you could make excuses for that. And then, but there's excuse after excuse after excuse. And whenever she's asked questions, she feels like it's impertinent of the reporter. How dare you? Don't you know that I'm a Democratic leader?
Oh my God. Watching Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks turn on these California liberals is beautiful. And watching this first week and a half of Donald Trump's second term in office has been eye-opening to me. Frankly, I mean, I'll be honest with you here. I was glad he won, of course, between the two, Kamala Harris, please. But I didn't have high expectations of what he would do in his second term. And already in the first week and a half, he has exceeded my expectations. So let's hope he keeps up the momentum. I really, really, really hope so. And if he does, because he is doing things that will guarantee that he goes down in history as one of the best presidents ever. Yeah, and I seriously believe that. If he keeps up these kinds of, if he keeps up what he's doing, if he keeps up this momentum across all issues, he just seems revitalized. It's amazing. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I find this whole, everything about Donald Trump in this second term interesting compared to the first term, where I found, that he was so hindered. He was hindered by himself for his string of terrible appointments, and he was hindered, of course, by Congress and judges and all that. But let me know what you think, and like and subscribe, of course, and I will see you in the next video.